Hi everyone, so today we're going to learn how to enter data. So let's suppose that as a budding psychologist you wonder if you can teach old dogs new tricks. So you actually go to the local humane society and you adopt 10 puppies and 10 older dogs. And you of course have to come up with an operational definition for what you would consider a younger dog versus an older dog. So in our case, let's say that a puppy would be considered a dog that's less than 2 years old, and a older dog would be considered any dog who's over the age of 8 years old. So you attempt to teach the dogs two of the standard tricks. One would be to sit on command, and the other one would be to roll over. So you only teach one trick to each of the dogs, and then you keep a log on how many days it takes for each dog to learn the trick. And you can see the results right here. So I organized them by young dogs and old dogs, and then the trick type, so sit versus roll over. So this kind of shows me what I have, but to analyze the data, I'm going to have to put it in a different format. So I'm going to switch over to an Excel file to show you how to actually enter the data into Excel. And from there, we can actually then directly copy it over into SPSS to do the analysis. So the first thing that you do is you dummy code all your variables. So you see here that I've basically taken the same data except for some of the demographic data, which is new. So we have trick type, and then somewhere in your Excel file, I would always actually denote your dummy coding system. So in our case, we use 1 for sit and 2 to indicate that the dog learned to roll over. And again, each dog only learned one of the tricks. Then our second column here, we dummy coded 1 equals to it being a young dog and 2 equals to it being an older dog. And then the third column here refers to our dependent variable. And here we, of course, record the number of days it took each dog to learn to do the trick. Okay, so in this case, this is actually a 2x2 design, and we're going to conduct an ANOVA to analyze the data, and we can also look at the interaction. So in addition to just collecting our two independent variables, we also collected some demographic information about each dog. We're not going to use that for our major analysis, but we're going to use it to describe our sample. So if you want to design a paper, you might want to tell your audience how many male versus female dogs you had in your sample overall, and then also maybe what types of dogs were included in the study. So here you have one column for gender or sex. So again, I used a dummy coding system. So I used 1 refers to female dogs, 2 refers to male dogs. And then in this column here, I coded the different breeds of dogs that were used. And it's completely arbitrary what numbers you assign to what breed. But I used 1 equals a German Shepherd, 2 would be a Border Collie, 3 a Chocolate Lab, and 4 would be a mix of different breeds. So you can see this data right here. So this is essentially how you enter the data into an Excel file. And then from here, you can always refer back to your data and your dummy coding system, which of course is important. You want to keep track of that and what each of the numbers actually refers to. And then from here, you can actually directly transfer your data on to SPSS so you can do your analysis. All right, so the next step, of course, would be to do your analysis, but that's everything for how you enter your data into an Excel spreadsheet.